Yep,
We're recording, Bob.
yep.
As
Let's call the
required,
meeting to order.
as required by the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice this meeting was provided on January 10th, 2020 by publication of notice in the Star Gazette and posting of said notice in municipal building on the same date. Further notice was given that due to the COVID-19 health emergency, this meeting would be held remotely via the Zoom application. Mayor Barsney,
Here.
Mr. Beam is excused. Mr. Marqueta,
Here.
Ms. McDermott,
Here.
Mr. Crone,
Here.
Mr. Finelli, I believe Mike's coming, and Mr. Lavery.
Here.
Okay, first up is we have the Eagle Scout Award recognition. Brad, you want to handle that?
Yeah, I don't know if I see John on.
Who are you
So I
looking
was
for?
John Murdoch.
No, not here.
Okay.
All right. Well, maybe Bob will just wait up until he joins. Hopefully,
Yeah, let's just move on. If he comes in, we can just interrupt in the middle and we'll do it, okay?
sounds good.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the November 19 meeting and the December 4th special meeting. Anybody want to make this motion?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Anybody have any questions, comments, corrections on that?
No.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney,
Yes.
Mr. Beam. Oh, sorry, Mr. Marqueta,
Not here. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Ms. McDermott,
Yes.
and Mr. Prone.
Yes.
Looking for a motion to accept the treasurer's report and the December bill list.
Wait, Bob.
I'll
do
make
we
the
have to do
motion.
I'm sorry. Do we have
Go
to
ahead,
do the
Brad.
December 4th meeting?
Pardon?
Do we have to do the December 4th meeting minutes?
Yeah, we did. We did it both. November 19th and December 4th.
I need to
Do you
abstain
have correction?
4th. I didn't realize we're doing them both at the same time. I apologize.
Okay. Do you want to do something on December 4th? Do you have a correction?
It wasn't
No,
here.
I wasn't. I was absent, so I have to abstain
Oh,
from.
recuse from the 4th. Okay.
Yeah, just for the 4th.
Okay,
Okay. I'm looking
All right.
for a motion for the treasurer's, I think, Lillian, you made the motion, right, for the report, bill list and treasurer's report, correct?
Yes.
Okay, anybody want to second that?
Second it.
Anybody have any questions, comments, any items need to be pulled? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney,
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes.
Ms. McDermott,
Yes.
Mr. Prone.
Yes.
Looking for a motion to accept the tax collector's tax and sewer reports for December. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Anybody have any questions, comments, discussion on those two items? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney,
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes.
Ms. McDermott,
Yes.
Mr. Prone.
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to accept the police department report, the December Department of Public Works report, the township clerk didn't support a written one, and the court report for November. Anybody want to make a motion to accept those three reports?
I'll make the motion. Oh, I'll second.
Okay. Did you get the motion in the second, Lisa?
Yeah, I got it, thanks.
Okay. Anybody
Mayor
have any
Barsney?
questions, comments, discussions on that?
No.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Okay, Mayor Barsney,
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes.
Mrs. McDermott,
Yes.
and Mr. Prone.
Yes.
And Lisa, I think you wanted to briefly say something for your report.
Yeah, in lieu of a written formal report, I actually have a few items on the agenda, but also just want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for their participation and support of our December team building and sponsoring a local family for the holidays. The support's been amazing and everyone's generosity is appreciated and proud to be part of the Greenwich family. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for, yeah,
Thanks
thanks for all
for
you do with
organizing
that, Lisa. You're always very generous with those type of causes, and thanks. Okay, I'm looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 8820. It's a resolution for award of resurfacing Rickline Road. 8920 is refund of a tax overpayment. 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 20 are redemption of tax liens. 9520 is cancellation of taxes for the veterans exemption, which sounds the opposite of what it is. We are giving them their tax break, but it sounds like they're taking it away. 9620 is a budget transfer. And 9720 is a resolution to authorize the naming of a risk management consultant by December 31st. Anybody want to make a motion to adopt those resolutions?
Actually, Bob, just to clarify, the 9720 is our renewal with PACE as our insurance fund for 3 years.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
got that confused.
Okay, yeah.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Anybody have any questions, comments, discussion on that? Especially on 9720, Brad, on PACE, do you have anything you want to talk about on that, or?
Yeah, so on that, we're gonna, we need to pick the agency that's gonna represent us. So we at least had sent out requests for RFQs. So we got several in, and myself and Lisa are going to do a virtual meeting with 2 of the proposal submissions, discuss it, and then make a decision as to which one to go with. So that, that'll be yet to be named. So if everyone's okay with that, that's the way we're gonna proceed, because we have to pick this before the end of the year, so by 12/31, and we just want to meet with the at least 2 of the representatives who submitted a proposal.
I'm okay with it.
Frank, anything?
Yep.
Okay, roll call, Lisa?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
And Mr. Perone?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we open up a public hearing on second reading for ordinance number 117, 2020 regarding off-duty police officers' fees and payments. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Frank, you want to open it up to the public?
Yep. I'm going to ask
Yeah,
everybody to unmute. And if anybody has any questions, please let us know. Okay, everybody was asked to unmute, so they have authority to unmute themselves.
Okay. Is there many people on? Is there anybody who asked? I didn't even look at the list.
Well, here, no questions from me.
No questions from me.
Okay. I'll make a
All right,
motion, we
so
close. I'll make a motion, we close public hearing on the 11720. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 117, 2020. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Any other questions or comments on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Perone?
Yes.
Okay. Next on there is the risk management consultant. We didn't need to have any more discussion on that. We discussed that under 5J.
Yep.
Property maintenance violations and liens. Anybody have any updates on that, or is that Paul?
No, that was my list that I provided to the Township Committee. And at this point, what I need you guys to do is a motion on the record to authorize that we proceed with applying those as liens against those parcels.
So
I'll
we
make
need
the
a
motion.
Okay. Yep. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Other questions, comments on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta,
Yes.
Ms. McDermott,
Yes.
Mr. Perone.
Yes.
Is the Eagle Scout on? Who, is he going to do a presentation tonight? Is he on, Frank?
There's nobody in the
Craig
waiting room, so
I think Meg, it might be Meg. Can you,
want me to ask Meg to unmute?
yeah.
All right. So oh, I'm here on, she sent the chat. There was a
Yeah, I
chat.
just sent the chat. It's me.
Okay.
Oh,
How you doing
okay.
tonight,
You're
Craig?
using, okay.
Yeah, I'm using a different computer.
Is that Craig?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Craig, you want to give us a little presentation? I know you submitted the pictures and everything to us. You want to talk a little bit about your project?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit. Thank you. So
Did
I'm
you
Craig
need to
Eagleberger.
share-
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Did you need to share your screen? I know Bob said something about pictures or?
Do you have
They
there
were in
should be,
our packet.
yeah, it should be in the packet, but I can't share my screen if you need me to.
That's fine, Bob. We can let him share his screen. He can control it if you want.
You can control it or I have to control
No, he
Okay,
can
well,
control
well,
it himself.
it?
I
Okay.
just grant him I'm gonna temporarily make him a co-host and then he can do it. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you should have the ability to share it now.
I think it should be sharing. Is it sharing for you guys?
Yep. Yeah, I see it.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it
So,
looks better
Craig-
there than the picture. Okay.
All right. So I'm Craig Eagleberger from Troop 61. Thanks for having me here today. I'm seeking approval for an Eagle Scout project that I've been discussing with the Historical Society, Historical Commission, sorry. It'll be a park in the, it'll be a sign in the park in downtown Stortsville. You can see down here, it might be a little bit faint, but the general design of the sign will be a base and made of stone pavers with stone chips inside. And this post and sign coming out from there. It'll be in front of the flagpole base on this side. The width of the base will be the same as the width of the flagpole base here. You can see on the second page, if you have the packet, the more exact dimensions. I'll scroll down actually for you. So here's that.
So you're planning on putting another sign up in front of the flagpole? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And it's gonna say Thomas Stewart Park, and that's the only
No,
thing it's
no,
gonna be on?
he's downtown,
No.
Frank.
Yeah.
This is not that, it's not Thomas Stewart Park.
Oh, where is this?
It's behind the police station.
You told me the municipal park? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Municipal
Oh.
Park.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's okay. So the Historical Commission wanted to read Reinhardt Park and then recognize the donors of the land in the bottom left and when they donated it. They wanted it to have a dark green background and gold lettering, and the PVC for the sign would be 1 inch thick, which was the thickest option the sign company has. I think the sign would help teach people about the history of the park and recognize the people who donate the land, as well as just add to the way the park looks and make it look better and have just a better atmosphere. And I plan to fundraise in the spring and install in August. Should only take a couple days to install.
Excellent.
So does
Anybody
anyone
have any questions?
Now, can you go back to the first page? Just take another look.
Of course.
No, I think it's a great idea. I like it.
Yeah.
So that's the flagpole. It's sort of to the right of the pavilion, right?
Yeah.
That boxed in.
Yeah, it's in the back right of this. It's in the back right of the park.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks great, Craig.
That'll look nice.
All right. So
Great
should I
idea.
come? All right. Do I come down near the municipal building at some point to get a signature? Or how would I get a signature for this?
Oh, you know what? If you want to drop it off to the clerk, I'll go down one day and sign it, and then I'll leave it there, and you can come and pick it up.
Okay.
I can't do it. I'm actually in quarantine, so I can't come sign anything right now in person, but I could go down early in the morning for anybody gets in the building and sign it and leave it for you one day next week, probably.
All right, that sounds perfect. Thank you.
Okay?
What do we
Thank
have
you.
to do to,
Looking forward to
or
it.
or
What?
Mike, what do we have to do, and when did they want the park renamed?
You would just make a motion authorizing approving the project.
The project, but what about the renaming of the park?
You would include that in the, you could include that in that resolution, or you could do another one.
Okay,
Because right now it doesn't have a name, right? It's just the park.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could all do it in one motion, say authorize the naming of the old park as Reinhardt Park and approve the Eagle Scout project.
okay.
Is
Is there any timing on that? When do they need that done by?
I'm planning to install around August of next year.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else, any other questions?
No.
Okay. Thanks for your presentation, Craig. Does anybody want to make a motion tonight to do the renaming of that park and authorize the project?
I'll make the motion to rename the park to Reinhardt Park.
Anybody else? Anybody want a second?
I'll second it.
Anybody have any other further questions or comments on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes,
Mrs. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Prone?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve Craig's project also. Now, anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Anybody else have any questions, comments on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
yes,
Mrs. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Prone?
Yes.
Okay. The solicitation report, we're just looking to approve this. Does anybody have any background on this or anything to discuss about it? Is the chief on, Hummer, or does he have anything to say on this or not?
yeah, let me ask him to unmute, 1 second. No, he's able to unmute? Yeah, Rich.
Hey, Rich.
Hey, what was it regarding? I'm sorry. The hours of solicitation?
This is MJ Hoffman with the Vivint Solar. She's just renewing her solicitor permit.
Okay. So no reason not to. He's ready.
No
He's recommending it, Rich?
No objection. No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So this is a renewal, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
don't really have a mechanism to renew, but she gets one every year and she's very good about abiding by our rules, so.
Okay.
All right,
Okay. I'll make a motion. We renew her solicitation permit. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, Lisa?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
yes,
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Prone?
Yes.
Dumont Road, Frank. Did you want to talk about this?
yeah, and I'm gonna let Mike talk about it a little further. So I reached out to Mike and asked him, with the new warehouse coming on Strikers Road, we just wanna, protect the residents from the tractor trailers trying to cut through the town. So Dumont Road is adjacent to Strikers Road, and it will connect to Route 22. So it's a high traffic road in our town, so we're looking to put a weight restriction on it. So Mike, you want to talk about it?
Sure. Yeah, Frank and I kind of gone back a little email communication on this. And he asked about can we go forward with a weight restriction for Dumont Road? The fact that Dumont Road is obviously connected with to two county roads, and especially as he said, with the warehouse that's under construction I think it's very appropriate to weight restrict the road. Most trucks obviously will be making a right when they come out of Strikers to 519 to get up to 22. But because the left on the 519 and then the right onto Dumont is a tough movement for a truck. But and needless to say, we agreed to put it on tonight's agenda for discussion. And if the committee's so inclined, can authorize our office to kind of put together the ordinance and the backup information. We would work with Mr. Lavery, of course, and we'd have a potential first reading in maybe January, February at the latest. The warehouse isn't going to be open till who knows when next year, so we still have time. But it's just a matter of looking to kind of get this on the books.
Okay.
So I guess we need a motion then to approve him to move forward on it, Mike?
Yes.
All right, if nobody has questions, I'll make the motion to approve Mike to look into the weight restriction on Dumont Road.
Anybody want a second? I'll second it. Anybody else have any other questions or comments on it?
No.
Roll call, Lisa?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Perone?
Yes.
Affordable housing, Frank, do you have an update or was that just left on?
So the update is that the Dumont Road site, which was by the Ingerman developers, we were approved for the 9% tax credits on it. So that's good news for the town. The project gets to move forward and the financial burden is taken off of Greenwich on it, which is good news. So
Yeah.
the next step is I actually spoke with Jeffrey Long today of Ingerman. He's meeting with his engineers tomorrow, and they're moving the project along. And I asked him to get us a timeline with milestones in it so we could share it with the public. So that's where we are with that.
Okay.
Hey,
Anybody have any questions or comments?
no, I'll just, if I can add one thing, because I was curious to know like how many projects were submitted and approved. I don't know how many were actually submitted. I can't tell, but from the information that was published, there were 11 family, as they designate them, because they separate family versus senior, and then also versus mixed use, meaning market rate. And so there were 11 projects that were approved for the tax credits that Frank spoke of. And so we were one of 11. We're the only one in Warren County. There was one approved in Hunterdon County and Clinton. I don't remember the other 9, but you know, they were all over the state, Bergen, Camden, they were all over New Brunswick. So it was sort of, it almost seemed like they were trying to, whether it was deliberate or not, it seemed like they were trying to disperse it around the state based on the ones that got approved. My impression. Again, don't know if that was deliberate, but there was only 11 approved. And again, it would be interesting once, you know, Jeff has the information to figure out if he could share with us like how many were submitted, and what percentage got approved and where we landed as far as the tiebreaker. Because we did make that one concession a couple of months ago, and I'd be interested in knowing where we landed on a tiebreaker standpoint. So, but whatever, regardless, you know, it must have been enough to get us there. So, and that's what the goal was. So I guess we achieved it. But,
Yeah. Okay.
I think,
Thanks. Anybody else?
Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, when Jeff came to the last meeting, he said that there were a lot of tie people that were going for the tiebreaker. And that's how come we got in, was
Yeah.
because of the concession. Because there were a
Yeah.
lot of tiebreakers.
Yes. Yep.
So just as an FYI, you weren't at the last meeting.
yeah, no, I wasn't there.
Well, I think it was actually, Jeff came to the land use board meeting, wasn't it, Frank?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, was it the land use board?
Yeah, it was just the land use board meeting. That's where,
Okay.
there's a lot of people that weren't there.
But
Okay.
that's what he said though, right, Mike?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think I I think it's good that we got it now because it's, I mean, it's only going to get more competitive. I mean, that's just my take on it. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
going to get,
Yeah, and just for people who may not have been following the affordable housing situation in our town, this is a state mandated project, or we have some requirements as to how many units we need to provide. If we don't provide the units, then the town gets hit with some penalties. So what we're doing is we're responding to a state mandate, and we're trying to avoid the penalties that the township would have to take on. So that's what this is all about.
Okay. Anybody else? Old business firehouse, is that, Paul usually talks about that, but is Joe Mexi on or is he asleep? He's been
No,
up
Joe's
for-
not on.
Right, he's asleep. He's been up for 36 hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
Joe's not here.
Even though he's not on there, I'll say it, that I want to thank him and his crew for all their work in the last day. Them and the police department both were out. I saw the police go by several times, and I saw the road crew out, and just want to thank them all for doing a good job for us during the last 24 hours, 30 hours.
amen to
Do we need to
that.
go into executive session for the record storage contract, Lisa?
That's up to you, Bob. I don't know if you feel that.
Hey, Bob, before we do go to executive, if we have it, there's, well, two things. One is, I did text John, but I haven't heard back, so I don't know if he's going to make it. It doesn't seem like it. So I just thought I'd just recognize him. And then additionally, it kind of falls under new business. I did have another scout from Troop 61 reach out to me to see if there was an interest in a particular Eagle Scout project. So I wanted to discuss that. I don't have specifics, but it's just to see if there's enough interest in it that he could then generate a proposal. So could I do those two things and then we can go?
Sure. Yep.
All right. So first, I just wanted to acknowledge John Murdoch. He is the scout from Troop 61 whose Eagle project was building the picnic tables for the pavilion. I was fortunate enough to address, if you see on Bob's screen, you can see the recognition for John and his work in accomplishing the Eagle Scout award, as well as the contribution to Greenwich Township. So I just want to formally thank John for the hard work. When this is probably going back over a year ago now, I'd gone down to one of the Troop 61 meetings, and it was obviously one of the troop I was involved in, and throw out to them several different kind of ideas that were in need for the town, particularly in the park because it was recently built. And I told them that, hey, we're going to have a pavilion someday, even though they didn't believe me. Like, we're going to have a pavilion someday, and it's going to need picnic tables. So John was one of the scouts who had an interest in doing that, and he, under his guidance and his initiative to make that a fruition, and he, you know, under the circumstances with all this stuff going on with COVID, where the scouts weren't even able to meet in person, he was still able to organize it, fundraise it. You know, the town made a contribution towards that fundraising and the purchase of materials, and delivered what I think are, you know, 12 pretty nice tables down there at that park. And I'm sure, I don't know if everybody on here has been down there. I know most of you guys have been down there. They're pretty well built, and nice addition to the park. And I just want to acknowledge his work, as well as Troop 61 and all the volunteers who made it happen, and just to say thank you for that contribution. It's certainly a well-needed and a well-appreciated addition to the park, and the residents and many others will get lots of benefit from those tables in many years to come. So thank you, John. Even though you're not on, we do acknowledge you and thank you for your contribution. So.
Yeah.
And those tables, if I could just throw this in, are very well made.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
they're going to be there for a long time. They did a really nice job with that, I thought.
Yeah, they did. I agree. Yeah, they came out real. They came out.
Yeah,
really well.
they're there for the long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Between that
Eagle,
and the bike rack, I said that's gonna be over 200 years too, but,
It'll outlive all of us, right, Bob?
yeah.
yeah, they
Okay.
had, so the Eagle, they had an Eagle ceremony at the park 2 weeks ago on a Sunday under the pavilion, and there were 5 scouts from Troop 61 who made their Eagle. And one of them, of course, is John. The other one they recognized was Spencer Adelaide, who built the bike rack. So I was joking with the scoutmaster. I go, we're gonna get a hurricane. It's gonna come through New Jersey, and I go, the only thing that's gonna be left standing in that park is that bike rack. But yeah, they did a great job. So to continue on the scout topic, I did receive an email this week from another scout from Troop 61 who is interested in building bird boxes. And if you guys aren't familiar with a bird box, I don't know if you've ever been up to Hawks Mountain over in Pennsylvania, but they have a lot of these bird boxes. So they're really for like the birds of prey and also for any other birds. But typically they're, I don't know, I want to say they're maybe a foot wide, usually 2 to 2.5 feet tall. And they're on poles that, can range in height, depends on how high you want to build them, but typically 12 to 15 feet in height. And they're there as protection for birds to nest. If you've been to Merrill Creek, you've probably seen them up along, not necessarily in the pathways of the Merrill Creek, but on the entranceway into Merrill Creek out in the open area, you'll see some of those bird boxes. But I have a scout who's interested in making bird boxes for Thomas Stewart Park, with the idea that they would be placed more along the peripheral of the pathways, the walking path towards the, either along the berm side near, the berm with the pine trees, and the back side towards the back where, I'm trying to think what direction that is. I don't know if that's south or southern view, southeast, where the path, the walkway goes, where there's closer to where the farmer does his crops. So they would be not close to the gaming area, not close to the pavilion. My recommendation was to put them peripheral in the back so that the birds would actually nest there, because you got to think about with fields and the gaming, the sounds and all the noise and the people there that, maybe you might not get them, but that's the concept. I wanted to see if there was enough interest in doing that before I go and say, go ahead and make a proposal to the town. But that's the current concept. So I just wanted to get your feedback to see what you thought.
I'm okay with listening to a presentation and see how many and things like that, and what he anticipates, what type of birds he anticipates to be around, and there and stuff. So.
Yeah, I agree with Bob on that.
All right.
I do too. It would be
Go ahead,
nice.
Lillian.
I do
All right,
too. I
great.
think it would be nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
I'll write back to him and ask him to put together some specifics. Maybe they put it into some type of with enough details similar to what Craig presented earlier. So, all right, great.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. Thanks, Brad. Anybody else have anything? I'll make a motion. We go into executive session to discuss a contract for record storage. Anybody want a second?
No, wait, Bob, before anybody seconds, do you want to open the public comment so that people don't have to wait?
We could do that. Yeah. Okay. I'll make a motion. We open public comment. Anybody want to second that?
I
second.
will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We'll open up public comment. Same rules apply as in person, 3 minutes, discuss, comment, whatever they want to comment about. So Frank, if you want to open it up.
Yep, I'm asking everybody to unmute.
Hi, should I just jump in?
Yeah, please state your name and your address for the
Yes,
record.
my name is Ann Ferrero, Ferrero, and I'm a resident of Bloomsbury, New Jersey. And I wanted to just weigh in very
Can we have your full
quickly.
address, Ann, please?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, 54 Main Street in Bloomsbury.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to very quickly weigh in. I know your township has been following the Tobias Farm warehouse proposal. And, and I apologize in advance to Mr. Finelli. I know this puts him in an awkward position.
No.
Okay.
Thank you, but actually, this was discussed at some length at the land use board meeting, which I probably should advise the township committee about. So continue, Ms. Ferrero.
Okay, yeah, and please feel free to jump in if you disagree with anything that I say. But at the last Franklin Township Land Use Board meeting, they did decide to vote in favor of recommending the site for a redevelopment zone, which would give potentially special tax breaks to the prospective developer. I will note that towards the end of that meeting that there was discussion of, gee, where will this traffic go and how we will direct it and whatnot. And at one point, one of the board members, I believe it was actually the chairman, Mr. Meltzer, who said, someone said something about, we'll turn it towards Greenwich. And I think Mr. Meltzer was the one who said, well, they deserve it. And they all broke into uproarious laughter, which I'm not sure was entirely appropriate, certainly not neighborly. But in any event, I wanted to just advise you that there will in fact be a lawsuit. There are already multiple litigants who have agreed. And we will also be looking for, for those who frankly, like a lot of municipalities, are strapped for cash and may not want to go forward and actually be a co-litigant. We'd also be looking for amicus briefs filed on behalf of the project. And if anyone has any interest in that, they can reach out to our attorney, Rob Simon, at Herald Law in Warren. Quite frankly, I think, there's been a lot of, information and claims on both sides. As a resident of Bloomsbury, and we're already getting, whacked by traffic and by truck drivers who frankly ignore signs. I'm very concerned about this project and what it would do to the local area. And I think it's a time for people to speak up unless they want to see this relatively nice section of the state really fall into a more industrial warehousing type vibe. And I think that would be a very deleterious impact. So I just wanted to put that forward. And if anyone has any questions, again, speak to Rob Simon.
Thanks for your comment, Ms. Farrell.
If I could respond, Bob, can I respond?
Please.
Yeah, go ahead. Well,
Can we-
first of all, I don't want to get into a dialogue, so you're going to have to, we should really close public comment first, and then you can.
Well, I just want, all right, so I won't get into a dialogue, but just to make it clear for everybody watching or who may watch this or who's on now, Ann, can you just tell everybody what the location is and the square footage of the warehouse that's going up and what you're opposing? I know you mentioned redevelopment, but.
Yeah, certainly. The project itself is a proposed 1.2 million square foot warehouse with approximately 2 million square feet of paved parking aside from that. It is on Bloomsbury Road, so it is right across from the Musconetcong River. It is on currently a piece of land that has been farmed continuously for many decades, called Tobias Farm. So this is just a few miles in off of Route 173. Our objections are multiple. The main objection, though, if I were to give a quick summary, is that the redevelopment law was designed for what we all think of as blight. And that would be usually something in an area like in a more urban area that was abandoned, that fell into disrepair, and they're looking to actually redevelop it and give incentives for a developer to come in and do that. We think not only does it meet the general intent of the law itself, but even the subsections of the law that they say it meets, we didn't think that was appropriate either. And again, our attorney also agrees that it's.
I'm going to have to cut you off. Frank, I think we're just going too far here. I think you wanted a brief statement, but now we're up to like 8 or 9, 10 minutes.
Okay, that's no problem. Hopefully that gave a good summary,
I
and
just
I'll
don't want
put
to have the next
myself
person
up.
who gets up complained that I let somebody else go on too long.
No, I quite understand. I'll mute myself. I have too many words.
Yeah, thank you.
Just as an FYI, though, on anybody watching, maybe Ann doesn't know this, but the town committee voted to oppose the naming that property and need for redevelopment. And we had actually approved a letter going out in support of Mr. Simon opposing it. So Greenwich is on record opposing it, just as an FYI. And I do agree that warehousing in this area is becoming a major quality of life issue for everybody. And Greenwich currently probably the only town that doesn't have zoning to allow warehousing. But as much as we try to protect our residents, we can't control the other towns who, in our opinion, really aren't looking to protect their residents from these quality of life issues. So they can laugh, at our town. But the reason we zone it that way is because we're trying to protect the quality of life of our residents. That's just my comment.
I applaud that. I will say it probably makes more sense to take the information in that letter and to also refashion it into an amicus brief, because that's what would have the most impact on the law case. So I just put that out as a suggestion, but again, I've taken too much time, so I will mute myself.
Thank you, man.
Thank you all.
We have anybody else in the public who wants to make any comments, Frank?
I know
Sue
Brian had
Harwell
some.
here.
Well, go ahead, Sue.
Sorry, Sue Harwell, a member of the Board of Education, Greenwich Township. I live 02 Bradford Lane on the Bloomsbury side of Greenwich. I just had a question about the affordable housing. The approval that's going through on Dumont Road, what is the structure of that? How many homes and what kind of a deal did we put together? And I apologize for not having followed it up to this point, but I'm just curious if you have quick statistics or information you can share.
I think, what did we land on, 66?
Frank, let's do this after we close public comment. Does anybody else have any other public comment?
Brian, did you want to speak on the warehousing? I know you had some comments on it.
I just applaud you guys for, drafting that letter because it's well needed. I think the other towns have to step up and do the same thing that Greenwich is doing with the zoning. And just thank you guys for the weight restriction. Frank, I know you're working on that, trying to come up with something for the residents in Chase and off of Dumont. So that's about it.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you.
Anybody else?
Do you, Bob, do you want any quick update on the DOT grants projects?
We have to close out public comment first, though.
I'm going to close public comment before we keep talking.
Okay.
Anybody else who wants to make a public comment? I'll make a comment.
Second.
Everyone
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, Frank.
Frank, you want to answer the about the affordable housing now?
Hey, Frank, can you let John Murdoch in? He just told me he's in the waiting room. I'm sorry.
Yep. Let him in. Yeah, I think
Everybody thought they were going to get out of here quick, right?
still going to be quick. I think.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I just don't like to keep public comment open too long and start a dialogue going forth.
Right. No, yeah, you're right, Bob.
I don't have a problem. Frank, you want to respond to Ms. Harwell's question? Though,
the Dumont Road site, Brad, you correct me if I'm wrong. What did we land, 66 units?
Yeah, it's 66 apartment units with, I don't remember where the final count was on one bedroom, two bedroom, three bedroom.
Yeah, that's all in the ordinance, right? So.
Yeah, so there's a number of
Stuart, you
single.
can ask Lisa, you could probably, if she contacts you, you could send her the ordinance with the breakdown.
Absolutely, yeah. Probably best to email me, and then I can email her the ordinance.
Yeah, and just so you know, Sue, that was one location. There's another location that the town's working on off of 173, near the car dealership there. So that's in play also, and that's another, what do we end up with that one? Is it 60?
I thought there were 64 and 64. It's 128 total.
No, it's 66 at Dumont, and I believe it's, I think it's 60 at.
60. Petrucci is 60.
Petrucci's 60.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 126 in total.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say, Sue, you weren't at the school building in 2018 then. Everyone was down there yelling at us.
But they're all rentals. That's one important fact to let her know. They're all rentals. They're all like garden style apartments. There's no homes. There's no single homes or anything like that. So.
Yeah, and how many stories, Mike, on the Petrucci?
Petrucci's 3.
3. And then the other ones are 2.
2.
Right?
Ingerman is 2.
Ingerman, which is the Dumont site, is 2.
The Dumont site.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do we move to John Murdoch? You want to let him in, Frank?
I did. I let him in. He's in.
You gotta
Okay.
unmute him.
Welcome, John. How you doing tonight?
Can you unmute him?
I'm doing well.
Yes.
Yeah,
There he is.
I was not to unmute at first. Sorry for the delay.
That's okay. Brad, do you want to go ahead and talk again?
All right, so John, you missed it. You missed my whole, great spiel about how wonderful you are, and you'll have to go back and watch it on replay.
Yes,
Basically,
I will.
I'll do the 1 minute version, but I just wanted to say thank you very much for taking on the initiative to build the picnic tables, fulfill your requirements for the Eagle Scout. Eagle Scout is it's not an easy accomplishment. Takes a lot of dedication, and I applaud you for sticking with it, taking the time, volunteering, and making a contribution to this township that will get great utilization. And as we were saying before, we'll probably be there for the next 30 years because those tables are so well built. So if you look in the screen, Bob's got your certificate, which we will get to you. So thank you very much for doing this. If you have anything you wanted to say, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, thank you. I think it's only fair to say thank you to Mayor Barsoni as well as the rest of the Township Committee for allowing me to do this in the first place. To be honest, the tables weren't my idea. They were mostly from Brad's. He basically what we did was our troop was brainstorming for Eagle projects, and tables came up for one of them because the pavilion was empty and they needed someone to fill it. I decided to take up that responsibility, and fortunately I was able to get it done before I left off for college. And it wasn't just my own work. Overall, we had over 400 hours of volunteer work put in there. Only about 10% of it, I believe, was mine. So if you want to look at those who truly put in the work, you can look at my father, my brother, and even the person with the most volunteer hours outside of my family, Damian Fabiani. Everyone who put in any work whatsoever, and that includes Brad coming over to my house to sign off, saying that our tables were satisfactory of the Eagle Project requirements, as well as Mayor Barsoni signing on his own off the papers that allowed me to start off the project in totality. I have to be thankful for every one of you, because otherwise these tables wouldn't have gotten done and I wouldn't have gotten Eagle Scout. Thank you.
Well, thank you, John. You did an excellent job. Those tables are very sturdy and well built, and we appreciate them. Anybody else want to make any comments?
Thank you.
Yes, well done, John.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Good luck at school. Okay. Okay, we're ready to move on to, okay, I'm gonna make a motion. We go to executive session now.
Hey,
Anybody
hey,
want a second?
Wait, Bob, can I know there was some public comment before. I wanted to respond to Ms. Ferrero's, her information as well, if I may.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
And I also had one other thing I wanted to say. So I wanted to say I totally agree with everything she stated. Being that this is my last meeting, I as far as the the zoning and all these towns that are nearby us and just this wave of warehousing that's coming our way, whatever people want to zone, I'm not going to get into that, but I totally agree that area in need of redevelopment, it was established. This is my opinion. I'm not, and Mr. Lavery, I'm certainly not a lawyer. So, but in my opinion, I believe that the whole reason for that law and the way it was written was exactly as Ms. Ferrero said. It was for blight. And if you think about where it was used recently, which was over in Phillipsburg, where the old Ingersoll Rand facility was, this was a property that had been debilitated. The property and the buildings were there for 20 some odd years. You can want to call it a brown site, whatever, but that was designated as an area of redevelopment because it truly was an area in need of redevelopment. And what I find offensive with what Franklin Township is doing is they're ignoring the key word, which is need. It might be an area they want to develop or they would prefer to be developed, but it is not an area of need. And that is I think the key word that people just overlook. And I think Franklin Township, if they want to send the traffic our way and laugh at us, that's fine. Because guess what? All the people that don't want to live there are going to come move to Greenwich. But if they want to shoot themselves in the foot and get a horrible warehouse with all the traffic and then not get any of the benefit, meaning the tax revenues, I just say, what are you thinking? Why would you do that? I mean, these warehouses and these developers who are building these things are making millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Go look at what the warehouse is just sold for at the Phillipsburg spot. $250 million, $250 million. These people are not poor. They can afford to pay their fair share on these lands. There's no reason they need an area redevelopment as far as it comes to tax incentive. It's pure greed. It's greed, period. And I'll go on record as saying that because they can do this without it. And that's my feeling. If they want to build it, pay your fair share. If the town wants to allow it, pay your fair share. But certainly don't put it on the taxpayers because every member of Franklin Township, every member of Warren County, because now this property will not contribute any taxes to the Warren County coffers, which means it puts pressure on us as a resident of Greenwich who contributes to the Warren County taxes. It puts just pressure on every resident of Warren County. So I say shame on Franklin Township for approving it. It shouldn't be done. And every other town that wants to consider this should really reconsider it because it's just, all you're doing is putting more money into the pockets of people who don't need it.
I agree.
Brad, before you get to your next statement, because I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. You might be giving your goodbye. But before you do that, I just want to offer my thanks and congratulations to you for the last 3 years because you were a great partner to everybody in the town committee. What you've contributed to the town has been, I can't even put it into words. You've done a lot of work helping with the park, and we definitely leaned on you a lot for the budget and the finances and all that. So you're going to be missed. I made a good friend when we decided to run together. We're going to stay friends. And thanks for for your service to the town. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate those words. Yeah, I just wanted to say, while the public's on, thank you very much. It's been rewarding 3 years. It's been tough for me, but thank you.
Uh-oh.
It's been a privilege. It's been a privilege serving everybody. So,
I'll echo what Frank said. I really appreciate you. You kept an eye on the budget. You handled a lot of the finance issues for us. But more than anything is you always stood behind it and pushed and saw projects through. Sometimes when we were ready to table them for another meeting or whatever, and you would say, why don't we just keep this conversation going, and we would, you know, you forced us to make some decisions and get some things done. You kept us on track, and I appreciated that, and several issues. One of the major things is the road project too. You really pushed on that, and it was nice. So I'm hoping their wife's walking up to you there. I see that smile going. We
She just did. She just walked up and handed me this. So.
But we got you a little something that we usually do to anyone on their last meeting, and we have.
All right,
to do it
hold on.
virtually.
Let me. All right, put it up.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah.
Well, it's in reverse. So
yeah.
It says, Brad, grateful recognition of your commitments and dedication as a Greenwich Township Committee Man, 2018 to 2020. Yeah, I think that's nice. Thank you. You didn't need to do that.
Yeah. But
thank you.
I thank you personally and on behalf of the township, Brad. Like I said, it was a pleasure working with you. Hoping to see you around yet.
I'm not going anywhere. I'll be around.
No. Okay.
Good.
Anyone
You
else
guys
want to
honest.
make any comments?
I agree with what Bob and Frank said. Brad, you've done so much for this township and for all of us. I greatly appreciate getting to know you and everything you did for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point. I know the mayor's looking to move this ahead, but Brad, great job. It's been a fun ride. He's been great to work with from my vantage point, and specifically with the park. He's spent so much time, both, behind the scenes and out front, digging ditches, laying pipe. I'm talking some real hard work. We can all thank him, because that park would not have gotten done on time, if you want to say it was on time, or when it got done before Community Day. So 2 points for Brad Perone. So Brad, it's been great and my pleasure working with you. Congratulations. And
thanks, Mike. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
And when we can, I'm going to buy you a beer somewhere along the line.
Well, we'll buy him a beer.
I'm going to cheer you guys, because I've been.
Good for you. Okay. Anyone else?
Brad, just an absolute pleasure to work with you, and thank you for everything. And next Community Day, if Bob puts me in charge of that, I'm coming and knocking on your door. So
You can do that. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Mike Lavery, did you want to say a word or two or not?
I talked to committeeman a little earlier today, but I told him I'm going to miss him. He's a good man, and I got a lot of projects around my house, Brad. Got some extra time. But no, you're truly a good man. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Okay. We good?
Yep.
Now can I make my motion to go into executive session?
Do you want to hear about the grants or no? I mean, quick. No? Yes?
Well, you want to do it? So, yeah, because we won't need you in executive. So, yeah, if you want to do it real quick.
Okay, this will take less than 30 seconds. As you've probably seen, striping got done, so we're ready now to close out all three grants, Dumont, Rickline Hill, and Stewartsville Road, and Washington Street. So that's a good thing, of course. And secondly, another good thing, grant related, we received an award for Rickline Hill Road. Well, we called it Section 2, which is the section north of Route 57. So we'll continue the paving efforts that we've been successful with into next year. So otherwise, all is good.
Okay.
And
thanks, Mike.
And Merry Christmas to everybody, by the way.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay. I make a motion again to go into executive session. Anybody want a second?
Determined to get through that.
Yeah, so for everybody, did it get seconded yet? Okay.
I don't know.
Second.
Anybody second?
yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
For everybody that's online, we're going to end this meeting. We're going to start up a private meeting. And then we're going to come back to this meeting, probably not to do much other than close the meeting, but you're welcome to join when we come back. So I'm going to end the meeting now. Brian, you're welcome to join the executive session. So hopefully you have the link. Okay.